Hi everyone, it's Roger and APF from DisKingdom.com, and it's time for episode 50 of the Disney Infinity and Beyond webcast presented by Diz Kingdom. It's Roger here in the UK, and then we have Abe there in sunny California.
Hello everybody.
Hello there, with his new San Diego Comic-Con swag behind him there.
Yeah, I could have had more, but I decided to cut my trip short. So
that's right. Yeah. So this week has been San Diego Comic-Con. Lots of Disney Infinity news this week. We have got the official release date confirmed. We have got loads more information from San Diego Comic-Con, including Abe basically giving us a rundown of the event and what he saw in games. We'll be talking about Hulkbuster. We'll be talking about Ultron. We'll be talking about the Toy Box TV Live show that they did at San Diego Comic-Con with a reveal of a little dot which looks to be pretty much Ant-Man. And we've also got some information on some power discs being delayed in the UK and Europe. Star Wars packaging, Kim Possible, and I think that's pretty much going to be quite a packed show for us. So we'll kick off first off, just before we came on air, some news quickly broke. So I'm going to pass that one over to Abe to sort of talk about that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost a big name, a legend in the gaming industry. Satoru Iwata, the CEO of Nintendo, unfortunately passed away. We knew he was a little sick, which kind of caused him to not travel for E3, but we didn't know the gravity of the situation. But unfortunately, he did pass away, and it's sad, a lot of great things were brought to Nintendo under his leadership, and he was definitely, obviously CEO, but he's always been a game developer and definitely a gamer at heart. So, he'll be missed, but hopefully he left a good impact. I know he did. He left a great impact to a lot of gamers out there. So hopefully the company continues in the right direction.
Yeah,
but it's a big loss.
Yes, there's a big difference to the world of Nintendo, and I'm sure it's that kind of situation where the company have kind of maybe planned for this kind of situation maybe, and but it's really sad news, and not good for Nintendo fans. But we're going to kick straight off into our next bit for really pretty much the biggest news that came out of the press release for Disney Infinity, which is the release date is confirmed finally after what seems like months of kind of speculation and different retailers putting up different dates all over the place. It's confirmed August 30th in the United States and Canada, and August 28th in Europe and UK. So that's it. We've got the official dates. It also then means that the Star Wars Rise of the Empire and figures, it's September 30th in the US. I'm just completely gone blank on that one. I know it's October 2nd in Europe.
Yeah, I thought it was an exact month, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So we got the date. What do you think of that, Abe?
Great. I mean, obviously, for a few of us behind the scenes, we had a different date in mind, basically based off of retailers as well. But it's not that far off from that date. It's great that we finally have an official date. And one thing that was surprising is nice to see another Sunday release date, which isn't usually the case for gaming. But either way, we're excited. We're glad we finally have this date. It's still ahead of all the other competitors, and so we have a head start. The UK gets 2 days earlier than us, which is cool, but you guys are already in the future, so it's technically 3 days for us. But
we make up for the other figures.
Oh no! I got lucky. So yeah, no. I'll be able to play the Rise, but then again, you're getting the collector's edition, so you should be able to play the Rise as well.
Fine. It's that thing that to think that we're only about like 6 weeks out from release, it feels like really.
It's mind-boggling.
I think because of last year, like being that mid-September, we're still, we're in full blown mode. The game is essentially, I think at this point, they're done. It's
complete.
It's complete. It's it's probably being printed and being ready to dispatched at the minute. It's like you can see with like E3 and San Diego Comic-Con, with them giving out these figures and giving it. it's ready. It's a finished product, ready to roll. This isn't they're not in the little boxes that they were in. They are ready to roll out, and it's a really big thing. I'm still kind of surprised they never went out with that date straight off the bat. It always seemed a bit odd that they never really officially announced that release date, but maybe they had to wait till they had final confirmation they were ready to print, just in case there was any delays. And with the amount of problems video games have had in the last year or so, all video games pretty much feel like there's been major problems happening. Maybe they were trying to just edge their bets just in case there was a major problem.
I feel like they were just going through it, making sure all the bugs are out. And personally, again, this is just my opinion, but I think Disney has a little diva in their hands, and that's probably why it's causing it to go maybe a little delayed. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
But yeah, so it's kind of, I think having that release date is great. It's just interesting whether they pretty much confirmed with the press release as well that you're going to be getting the sort of the takeover toy box game disc is the pre-order bonus this year. I mean, all the retailers are doing the same thing, pretty much everywhere, which is pretty cool. It's a fact. I think not having a figure this year is a bit different. I think it makes it a lot easier for the businesses in terms of they're giving something away. They're all giving away the same thing. There's no choice. It makes the website easier to organize. They don't have to have people picking options and all the rest of it. It's literally they can just bundle that into the pack. Still no release date yet on that Speedway pack, so that could be. There's still lots of dates that we don't yet know about, but it's pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to know how they're going to spread out the news over the next sort of 6 weeks, or if they're going to tell us everything before launch. That's the other question I've been wondering. Is like, will we actually find out some of this information?
Maybe. But you know what? The more they spread it out, the better. I mean, I'm liking this so far. So this round 3 has been perfect in my eyes. So
I think as well for me as I'm looking at this now, it's like we've got we've got launch with 2 play sets, maybe technically 3 with the rise of the. So we've got those play sets. We've got lots of figures. I mean, even if you pre-order everything, you're looking at quite a lot of money anyway. So the idea that you've got the Marvel playset, you've got the Star Wars Force Awakens playset coming later in the year. We might even have other playsets. We just don't know at this precise minute. I like this idea that things are being spread out a little bit more. I think it's better for the game because I think last year it was like, here's 2.0, here's your playsets. You're gonna have those two toy box game discs like in November, a month later, and that's it. That was all your content, literally. Bang! Within like 6 weeks, we had, I would say, 90% of our content last year.
Yeah.
We only had 3 figures officially. I don't know. We had 5 figures released this year for 2.0, but no content. And I think that's going to be a big difference. And I also think a big difference is this not having, you're not having 40 power discs to buy on day one either.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued on their approach on the power disc this time around because we still don't know anything beyond 12 power discs, maybe 14 if you count the 2 Tron discs, which I'm assuming they might be discs as well. No, I'm kind of impressed this round because the fact that I don't know all the other power discs don't really bother me at this point. I mean, we still don't know anything about the Marvel playsets. We still don't know anything about the Force Awakens. I don't know why there's been so much news. The Force Awakens playset. So it's like we still have a lot to learn. So I'm excited.
The only thing is I do wonder. It's like they're kind of going to get that information out before that game starts hitting people's consoles, because once people can get into the Hall of Galactic Heroes and the Hall of Superheroes, unless they've managed to work out the way of not letting us see what's in it or the power disc, we're going to know everything once that game's in our hand. And the first thing people are going to be doing is jumping into that Hall of Heroes and stuff to find out what's going on. So I think in some ways, I think D23 they're going to be doing a big announcements. But I think I would surprise me over the next 6 weeks we start seeing a flurry of info coming through.
Yeah, D23 is gonna. Yeah, D23 is gonna be the big sucker punch with all the info. Something just to piggyback off of what you were saying, and we'll dive into packaging more. But I mean, even the packaging now like doesn't give us anything. Like
No.
it's not showing us any of the figures for episode 7. It's not showing us any of the figures of any possible other villains that we might see or something like that. So, I mean, this third round of information has been, they've been really cautious. It's been, I don't think we've had that many leaks, to be honest with you, after the whole information release, you know. So I think we're doing pretty good.
Well, yeah, I think I think everything's actually managed seems to every figure in this seems to have leaked fellow retailers, but I do wonder if they've got to try and they need to get that information out before the retailers know about it, and also I think as well as get it once we have that game in our hands, unless they've managed a way of locking it down until that playset piece is put down, but data mining and stuff is going to be difficult. I think this thing of like we've talked about it on so many occasions where to have that internet connection where the update to unlock that has to be done by another update, so this stuff doesn't get put in the game yet. I think that would be a really cool way of doing it. I don't think they're at that point yet because it doesn't look like any of the packaging says it needs a digital connection, but we don't know yet.
Right.
But no, so this release date is coming August 28th in Europe, August 30th in the US. Just a quick note on some power disc change. Yesterday it was brought to my attention by Rob over on our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group that the UK dates for the 2 power disc packs, the Tomorrowland and the Twilight of the Republic ones, seem to have got pushed back to October 2nd in Europe. I got a tweet as well just to confirm that. And it looks like that could be the case for some bizarre reason. We're getting them slightly later. That's been pushed back from launch, back about 6 weeks. I wouldn't say it's a major problem, but this is the one thing with power discs and stuff of what is always. I think people we all tend to want the stuff on the same time. A few days different for regions is one thing, but 4 to 5 weeks is slightly things, and there's already a lot of the diehard collectors in the European group, looking now of how much is it going to cost to import, and getting it from if is it going to be out earlier in Germany or France. So instantly, the first reaction to a lot of people is, how do I get it when it comes out? Not when's it going to be? Do I have to wait? So we're still waiting on that, but that could be the case with those 2 packs of power discs.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.